This is HelpingHandUSA, and I'm signing off. When I was in middle school, I had the honor of being on the morning announcements. Now, being on the morning announcements at Central Middle School was a big deal. It meant that every morning you would be on the news. And being on the news would mean that you were in every single classroom. I remember how excited I'd be before I'd get up and get ready to broadcast the news. I'd say, "Makeup, please," and there'd be someone who'd come and put on some makeup. And I'd say, "I'm a little bit parched. Can I get some water?" And someone would come and bring some water. And then before I'd go on, I'd look in the mirror just like this, and I'd be like, I know it's kind of funny, but that's what I did, and I loved it until something happened. Well, you see, there's something a little bit funny about me, and it's actually my eyebrow. I know you're going to start looking at it, but it's not something I could control. My eyebrow would go up, it'd go down, it'd go side to side, and when I would be telling the announcements, all of the kids at Central Middle School, well, they would start to look at it. It took over my life. I remember at lunchroom when I'd be sitting down at the lunch table, there'd be people who'd walk by and they'd say, "Hey, are you Amin, the eyebrow guy?" I was like, "Yes." I remember when I'd be at restaurants with my mom and dad and we'd be sitting down, people would walk around and say, "Hey, are you Amin, the eyebrow guy?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am." Even when I'd be after school waiting for my mom and dad to pick me up, there'd be people who'd drive by, they would stop, they'd put down the window, and they'd be like, "Hey, Amin, it's you, the eyebrow guy." Now at first, I started to feel a little bit scared. I started to feel like it was something I was ashamed of, but then I started to think to myself, no, that is who I am. And I claimed it, and I took pride in who I was, and it turned out I wouldn't just spend my time on the morning announcements. I'm here still telling stories today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me for Around the World Storytime, sponsored by Helping Hands Relief and Development. Now, the reason why I shared with you this story is because today we are welcoming a very special author, an author that wrote a book called Nightly News with Safa, along with many others. Now, before I introduce her, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Amin Asr, and I am the author of Noor Kids. Now, with that, I would like to bring our next author to the program. Bum, ba-dum. Helal Musleh. Did I say your last name right?
You did. You did. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, Sister Helal. How are you?
I'm good. Eyebrow guy sounds like a really cool superhero name.
Oh my gosh, I really like that. Yeah. Bum ba-dum. Eyebrow guy. No, anyways, like if you're an eyebrow guy, your special power would be like giving,
Staring people down.
yeah, staring people down, or like, especially as kids, sometimes like moms and dads will give you like the look, like, and then so anyways, all right, neither here nor there. So, Sister Helal, where do you live?
I live in Milton, Ontario, which is in Canada.
Wow. And so, Sister Helal, you have written not just one book, not just two books, you've written multiple books. Is that right?
I've written 3 books, alhamdulillah.
Will you tell us the names of your books?
Sure. So as you mentioned, there's Nightly News with Safa. That was my first book. I've also written Secret Recipe Box. And the third one is Zaid in the Gigantic Cloud.
Ooh, Zaid in the Gigantic Cloud. That sounds amazing. Is that the one that we're going to read today?
Is the one we're going to read today. I have it with me right here.
Ooh, and it looks so beautiful too. Now, before we read it, Sister Helal, can you tell us a little bit about like what inspired you to write this story? Why did you decide to write it?
So the reason I wrote it is because I know a lot of kids deal with a lot of things in their lives, right? There's canceled things that they had wanted to go to, or, things that don't really go according to plan. And as kids, they kind of don't have a way to express themselves like we do as adults. We have lots of words that we can use, big fancy words, and a lot of kids don't have that. So I tried to write a story about a little boy who goes through something that kind of ruins his day, and he finds a way to kind of get out of his funky mood. And I wanted to kind of show kids that they have the power to change the bad stuff that they see around them.
Alhamdulillah. And by the way, things that are out of our control, can we talk about the coronavirus for a moment? Allahu Akbar. I mean, come on. I mean, at first I was like, okay, yeah, no school. But now I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, can we please go back to school? What
Yeah.
can we do for school again? So, and Sister Helal, when did you actually write this book?
You know what? The date is pretty fuzzy, but I believe it was published in 2017.
2017. Okay, so not that long ago. Pretty new. Okay, so while Sister Helal gets her story and gets ready to share with us this story, I want to just say thank you to Helping Hands Relief and Development, because it's Helping Hands Relief and Development that's making this possible. Alhamdulillah, it's a really amazing organization that focuses on charity work outside of the United States, with respect to helping orphans and various communities that are in need. So with that, Sister Helal, I am going to be removing myself. We'll be going to you for Zaid and the Gigantic Cloud. Bum, ba-dum.
Thank you. So here it is, Zaid and the Gigantic Cloud. Like I mentioned, it's about a boy who goes through something that's kind of bad in his eyes, and I want you to pay attention to something funny that happens when he hears his bad news. Okay?
Okay.
On Thursday evening, just before bed, Zaid carefully packed for his special weekend camping trip. Swimming trunks? Check. Marshmallows and graham crackers? Check. A new joke book and flashlight? Check. He zipped his bag closed. Just one more day of school, and then he would be off to his uncle's annual camping trip. Just then, Zaid's mom knocked on the door and came in. She looked worried. "I'm sorry, Zaid," she said, "but your uncle had to cancel his camping trip because Ahmed is sick with the chicken pox." "Oh no," Zaid groaned, throwing himself backwards on his bed. He'd been looking forward to this trip with his cousin Ahmed for months. Zaid was so upset that he spent the night tossing and turning, barely getting any sleep at all. When Zaid got up the next morning, he was exhausted and still thinking about the canceled camping trip. He would miss splashing through the fresh, cold water of the lake. He wouldn't get to melt marshmallows over the fire until they were soft and gooey. There would be no laughing all night with Ahmed in their very own tent. Why did Ahmed have to get the chicken pox anyway? Thought Zaid. It wasn't fair. He kicked his packed camping bag into the corner of the room and dragged himself to the bathroom to get ready for school. As he was brushing his teeth, Zaid looked in the mirror and noticed something strange. There was a small gray cloud hovering over his head. He frowned, and the cloud darkened. And I want you to think to yourself for a minute if this cloud is really there or if it's maybe in Zaid's imagination.
Can you show us one more time?
Yeah. Here it is. There he is looking in the mirror, and the cloud
and
is
I can see the
forming
cloud
over.
now. Can you guys see the cloud? It's right there over him. Okay. Oh, wow. Is it real or is it imagination? Okay.
When it was time to go to school, Zaid waved goodbye to his mother and headed towards the bus stop. Yellow and orange leaves fell from the trees. The dried leaves made crackling sounds beneath Zaid's shoes. Oh no, Zaid thought. Soon it'll be winter and I won't be able to play soccer outside. The bus came rumbling down the street to pick the students up. Zaid climbed onto the bus, but when he looked around to find a seat, he realized they were almost all full. Oh no, now I have to sit all the way in the back. It's too noisy and smelly at the back. The cloud above Zaid's head grew heavy. It brushed up against his hair now.
Oh man. Speaking of things that like make me sad and make me angry, one of the things that's so funny, Hilal. So like, when we're doing this, because we're doing this online and doing it live, we are so subject to like the world of the internet. And so what that means is sometimes the quality is really good. Sometimes it goes a little bit fuzzy. And on that last one, it got a little bit fuzzy. And now it's clean again. Can you show us that previous page one more time?
Sure. Was it this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you can see here he's seeing, oh, sorry. He's seeing all the leaves.
Yep.
And he's not very happy about fall coming. And then he gets on the bus, notices he has to sit in the back, and his cloud starts to grow.
Got it. So his cloud is getting bigger and bigger. It might be
Yes.
becoming gigantic. Allahu Akbar. All right, let's see what happens.
After a bouncy ride, the bus finally arrived at school. Zaid hurried to get off, but the aisle of the bus filled up with kids, hustling and bustling, grabbing backpacks and lunch boxes and blocking the way. They were so slow. Zaid would have to wait. What if he was late? Oh no, Zaid groaned. My teacher doesn't like it when we're late. Zaid was the last one off the bus. He rushed through the halls and burst through the classroom door, just as the bell rang. Zaid headed straight to his desk and slumped into his chair. The other kids looked at Zaid and whispered, "Why hadn't Zaid said hello?" And whoa, is that an enormous cloud? What was it doing there hanging above Zaid's head?
Wow.
Miss Khan stood in front of the class and announced, "Good morning, class. Today you will get your book reports back so you can review them and make improvements for next time." Miss Khan made her way to Zaid's desk and placed the assignment in front of him with a smile. Zaid saw lots of corrections made with a bright red pen. He moaned as he covered his face. Oh no, look at all the mistakes I made. The dark cloud rested up on his shoulders and fogged up his eyes and ears.
Oh man. Poor Zaid's having a tough day.
He is. We've all been there, right? At lunchtime, Zaid zipped open his backpack to get his lunch, but his bag was empty. Oh no, I forgot to grab my lunchbox from the kitchen counter. His teacher gave him a cold slice of pizza and a bruised apple from the staff room. He nibbled at the pizza slice, but the cheese was stiff. He bit into the apple, but it was too mushy.
Gosh. This is just going on so sad.
It's not his day. When the recess bell rang, Zaid ran to the end of the soccer field. He didn't feel like talking to anyone. He sat down on a patch of grass in a huff. I'm having such a bad day, he thought. The cloud puffed around Zaid's neck. It grew so heavy he could barely lift his head.
Oh my goodness. It's like his hair has turned into a thunderous cloud.
Yes. Let's see what happens. Zaid felt a single drop of rain splat onto the back of his neck. Oh, great. I can't believe it's raining. Ring went the school bell. What? Zaid thought. Recess is over already? Zaid stood up. I'm tired of this day. I'm finished. I'm done. He sat on the muddy ground, completely wet.
Poor Zaid. Oh my gosh. Hello, I'm literally going to cry. I swear I'm going to cry. Because I can relate to this so much. Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad for him. All right, let's see what happens.
Okay. A few moments later, Zaid heard a faint chirp from a shrub nearby. He glanced over and thought he saw a small flapping wing. He inched closer and noticed a small brown wren fumbling around the base of the bushes. Why aren't you flying away? There was something shiny next to the bird, so Zaid gently pushed the leaves aside. Oh no, it was an empty soda can, and the poor wren's foot was stuck in the small aluminum tab.
Oh no.
Zaid looked around to see if anyone could help, but all the teachers and students were too far away to hear him. I'll have to do something about this myself, thought Zaid. He gently reached towards the wren. I won't hurt you. The frightened bird flapped its wings wildly as Zaid held it firmly in his hands. He slowly eased the wren's tiny foot out of the aluminum tab and opened his palm so the bird could fly away. The wren looked at Zaid for a few moments, then chirped away happily and flew. Shrink, went the cloud. You're welcome, little guy, he shouts. When Zaid heard the bell ring for a second time, he sprinted back to class so he wouldn't be late again. In class, Mrs. Khan whispered, Zaid, I hope you saw all the comments I made on your book report. I did, he murmured. Well, his teacher exclaimed, I'm excited to see your next one. Zaid was confused. Was Miss Khan joking? What do you mean? He asked her. My book report was filled with mistakes. Zaid, Miss Khan began, your book report was excellent, but I added some suggestions so that your next one could be even better. You know, we only get better at our work when we try fixing our mistakes. Zaid felt better and promised to work hard to improve. Shrink, shrink, went the cloud. On his way home, Zaid had to sit at the back of the bus again because all the other seats were snatched up. But this time, he noticed there was a pleasant breeze coming through an open window. Then the girl sitting in front of him opened up her bag and showed him her pet turtle. She had brought it in for show and tell that day, and Zaid loved turtles. As Zaid walked home, a leaf fell off of a tree. He felt it land on his head. He pulled it out of his hair and stared at it. What an awesome, fiery red color it had. He couldn't wait to pile all the leaves up outside his house so he could jump right into the middle. Shrink, 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 went the cloud above Zaid's head. Zaid opened the door to his house and headed to the kitchen. His mom had unpacked his camping bag and now she was putting all the s'mores ingredients back into the pantry. Just as Zaid was about to start thinking of the canceled camping trip, he looked at all the yummy ingredients and a marvelous idea popped into his head. Mom, asked Zaid, I know we can't go camping tomorrow, but I was thinking, we could set the tent up in the backyard and still make s'mores over the stove. That sounds like a great idea, Zaid, she replied. And you can see his cloud is shrinking right here too. And he says, and I want to send Ahmed a get well soon card. Pop went the cloud. It disappeared. He's writing a note and he says, Dear Ahmed, I hope you get well soon. Your cousin Zaid. That night, Zaid slowly drifted off to sleep, feeling grateful. Tomorrow, he decided, would be an awesome, sunny day. And that's the end.
Oh my gosh, Sister Helal, that was such a special story. Man, Allahu Akbar. Helal, I literally cried. I swear I cried. You know, because I feel so sad. I'm not even a kid. I'm an adult, but you know, this feeling in your head when things are not going right, you begin thinking about stuff, especially when bad stuff happens, like, oh, okay, well, now the teacher said this, so now in my head I start getting really stressed out, and then something else happened, and then I start getting even more anxious, and then something else happened. It's like I'm carrying this big weight on my head, and it's something that I can totally relate to. I mean, you know, we're working on this really, really exciting thing. It's called Dear Ramadan. And it's like this camp. And by the way, if you want to join Dear Ramadan, it's really cool. If you go to noorkids.com, I'll just show you real quick. If you go to noorkids.com events, you can join the digital camp. It's really cool. But, you know, every day we're doing like a class, and then we also have like this 30th Sipara or this 30th Juz and like a memorization thing and activities and things. But gosh, in the back of my head, Sister Helal, there's like this voice and like there's the emails that come in And it just
Yeah.
becomes so much that you're like, oh man, and you start to get scared and you start to get worried and you start to feel like, oh man, I just can't do it. But then you have to start counting your blessings,
Yeah.
right? And as you count your blessings, you start to feel better. Or at least that was one of the things that I took away from this story. But I wonder, Sister Helal, like, did that come from a place, like a personal story, or where did that come from?
You know what? It came during a time where kids all over the world were seeing some pretty horrible stuff in other countries and other places in the world. Kids have really seen a lot. And being as innocent as they are and not having the capability to express themselves, I wanted them to be able to pick up a book like this and kind of see that they have the power to change the way they view the world. And if you notice in Zaid's story, nothing changes for him. Everything's still the same. It's still going to be fall. His book report still has all the red marks. He still can't go camping. But the thing that changes is his perspective. And perspective is just a big word for how you look at things. So he's to look at things differently. And then everything sort of seemed to change and he was able to handle it a little bit better. So I kind of just want everyone out there to know that they have the power to kind of make the world better for themselves and for people.
That is so powerful. It is so powerful, and it's so interesting that you say that. You know, there's this tradition that I think about where, you know, we're told that we should never like look at those that have more than us. We should always look at those who have less than us and be thankful. Well, when we're thankful, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that like now my situation has changed? No, my situation's still the same, but my perspective has changed. And so I think that it is so amazing what you have done in that story. It was so artful. So now, Sister Helal, if somebody wanted to get that book or any of your other books, where would they go to find them?
So they can actually go to Ruqayyah's bookshelf. That's where they've been published. So if you go to Ruqayyah's bookshelf and you go to their store page, you can find Zaid and the Gigantic Cloud as well as Secret Recipe Box.
Wonderful. And Ruqayyah's bookshelf is run by a really good friend of mine named Asma Hussein, and we love her books. And I have to like so apologize because Sister Helal, I love children's books and we have so many, but I have not read this story before. Maybe that's why I cried, because it's the first time I heard it. But you did a really, really good job. MashaAllah. Allah bless you. And I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity to share this with you. So now, Sister Helal, I have heard that you have an activity for us today. Is that true?
I do. And it's a really simple, fun activity. All you need is paper towel, which I hope you guys have at home.
Okay.
Some permanent marker and a container to hold some water. Okay, so I have my activity set up. So I'm just going to take you guys to travel with me and show you what I have here.
Ooh.
So, the crib in the back. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've got my paper towel right there. And I've got my container of water right here.
I can see it.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a paper towel that can fold. So you can either fold it in half lengthwise or widthwise, whatever you prefer. And on the front with black permanent marker, you're going to draw a cloud, preferably at the end of your paper towel. So draw a cloud, and that cloud is going to represent the things that get you down in life, whatever that is, maybe a bad mood or someone who kind of bothers you, teases you, whatever it is that kind of gets you down. And inside your paper towel where you folded it, you're going to hide a positive message. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of share the words or the things that get you out of that bad place. So for example, when I share with others, when I smile, when I make dua, I'm able to lift myself out of my bad moods. So you're going to hide your message there behind the fold. And then something really cool is going to happen. And that's when you put this in water. Are you able to see my water?
Yep, we can see it. So there's water in there. Okay, got it.
Yes, there's water in there. So when you drop your paper towel into water and you kind of let the water soak through, you'll see that your sun overtakes your cloud, and you can see all your positive words shine way over your cloud. And I even did a little smiley face on my cloud as well. So now my cloud is not a bad mood, but it's just a little picture in my sky.
Oh man, that's an amazing activity. And I feel like, you know, especially if it's like a day where I'm feeling a little bit sad, and I think it can happen. And there's a lot of, you know, there are things that can happen even with the coronavirus. You know, we can start to feel a little bit sad that, you know, we can use this to make ourselves happy again. And, you know, I'll tell you, even our prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be on him, I think about the challenges that he went through. Man, our holy prophet, peace and blessings be on him, went through so many challenges. And we've shared it in some of the episodes before, but, there was a time when they were, taken to Shaykh Abu Talib where they didn't have anything at all, right?
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, right, that would be such a difficult experience, but he did, Allahu Akbar, still have a number of things, like, for example, you wrote dua or you wrote prayer, and that's something that our Holy Prophet still had, and that's one of the ways that we can, breathe out and get this negativity out of our brain and be happy with it. So, all right, so here's the thing, Sister Helal, I have a challenge for you. All right, we're gonna call it the Muslim Dad Joke Challenge. All right? Okay. Now, here's what's going to happen. I am going to pick 3 Muslim dad jokes.
Okay.
Because I'm a dad and I'm a Muslim. And, dads, they tell, like, corny jokes. Like, did he really just say that? Okay? And your goal, Sister Helal, is not to laugh. All right?
Okay.
Can you handle that?
I can handle that. Can I smile?
Yeah, you already laughed. You already laughed. This is going to be so easy. This is going to be easy peasy.
Can I smile?
Okay, you can smile, but if you smile too much, we've got some judges here. All right, I've got some judges here. They're gonna be the ones who evaluate, and they'll let you know. Okay. All right. So these are really corny and really. So we'll see. Okay, so you can't laugh. All right.
Okay.
Sister Helal, why are Muslims so rich?
I don't know. Why?
Because they believe in all of the prophets.
Didn't know that.
You get it? Like prophets, like prophet, like money, and then like prophets, like, prophets of God, like prophet.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't think, because there's the prophet, like, it's like a play on words, Sister Helal. It's like prophet and... Okay. You're good? You're good?
Cool. I'm good. I got it.
All right. Part of a dad joke is explaining that it is a joke. All right, Sister Helal. Do all people fast during the month of Ramadan?
They should.
Well, I mean, all people, yeah, but do all people fast during the month of Ramadan?
No.
Only Som. You get it? Like Salat, Som, Hajj, Zakat, like.
Yeah, that's a good one. That one almost had me.
That's hilarious. All right. Why did the Imam sneeze during Salah? Because he was praying Isha. Like Isha. Like he was.
Got it.
He sneezed. All right, Sister Helal, you have defeated me. Wah, wah, wah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't laugh. Those were hilarious.
Can I try one on you?
All right, I'll try not to laugh.
Okay, so what do you call a dairy farmer who's also an imam?
I don't know, what?
A milkshake.
I'm sorry, what?
A milkshake.
Why would he call it a milkshake? I don't get it.
What? A dairy farmer?
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Okay.
I totally get it. A milkshake. Like a milkshake. That was good. I didn't laugh, though, because I'm stone cold at this game. Pew, pew, pew. All right. Anyways, Sister Helal, it was such a treat to have you today. It was such a privilege. I want everyone to on behalf of myself, on behalf of Noor Kids, and on behalf of Helping Hands Relief and Development, Sister Helal, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. And inshallah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, join us tomorrow at the same time, at the same place, for Around the World Story Time, where we'll be listening to another amazing story by a world-renowned author. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.